All right, hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse and welcome to the 2025 ODO vlog. I'm down here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm on my way right now to ODO, the Old Dominion Open. It's one of the largest IPMS shows in the country, especially when it comes to Gundam, Gunpla, things like that. There's a huge, absolutely huge and vibrant community down this way of very talented builders building in that space, and it's been a show I've gone to a number of times now. This is my 5th time, I believe. I had to do the math over breakfast, trying to figure out how many times it's been. The first one was back in 2020, right before COVID and everything got crazy. It's like I said, it's a huge show. I think they've got 5 Gundam categories this year. I could be wrong, but something like that, and expect to see a lot of incredibly talented builders. I feel like I've said this a number of times, but just the baseline average of the talent level of the builders is just high. There's a lot of excellent builders, and I feel like they all elevate each other as they start getting a little bit competitive with each other, and they're riffing off each other's notes, and it's amazing. It's what I kind of wish every other area would get, and maybe that's a good goal to achieve at some point, is trying to figure out how to repeat the success they've had here in other places. So going to the show today, hope to see and talk to a ton of great builders, get the scoop on their builds, and share all of that with you. So come along with me for the ride, and hopefully it's a good one.
Hey everybody, I'm Pencil Knights, and I'm here at IPMS ODO 2025. This year I brought Gundam Narrative A, B, and C. Obviously my favorite would be Narrative C. What was cool about this particular series was I pretty much had to rebuild the same model 3 times, and each time I learned something new or a more efficient way on how to wire or utilize the space that was available to me. With the Narrative C, with that being my favorite, that one was a monster. It was a complete overhaul of recreating parts, the entire Psycho frame that comes with it, the red Psycho frame. I had to recast all those parts From there, I had to hollow out the entire kit just to be able to get LEDs strewn all the way throughout the body to recreate the similar effect from the show. Also, it has functionality to be able to switch between red and green. And I think for me, that was probably the most challenging part of wiring the kit, because in every area there's a blue light, I had to place a red light. So, you know, from the arm, so you could surmise, you know, you're talking about maybe 50 plus LEDs if you just count them throughout the body. But all in all, it was a lot of work, but the payoff was great. I was overjoyed with how it turned out, and just to add a little bit of pizzazz to it, I wanted to recreate the Gundam container that the narrative burst out of in the final scene of the movie. And I tried out some different painting techniques to recreate the molten metal look on the doors, and created a nice little plaque at the bottom, RX-9C narrative Gundam C-Packs. All in all, it was a really fun build.
So I'm Eric, also known as Lobsters Minis, it's Lobsters Double B. I brought my GPO2 Gundam here. It's a 1/60th scale ARC Studios resin kit. It took me about a good month or two to get everything ready. It's a full resin kit constructing of M3 screws holding it all together. It weighs around 20 pounds with the base, all things considered, so it's a little bit of a heavy guy. But we got custom wiring going on throughout here, some third-party spotlights, some resin miniatures, and the entire thing was then painted over the course of about a week or two. So it's one of those kits that I always wanted. It's kind of one of my grail kits, if you may, and it's definitely something that I'm very proud of and love to see on the table now.
Hey everybody, my name is Austin Thomas. I go on Instagram as GXT or Gunpla X Tesseract. I brought a couple kits with me today. We have my Age 1 Master Grade, and this was kind of like a Age 1 full Galanta, but I decided to put only half the armor on it to kind of, showcase like the underneath of what's there and what's not. I even did a little bit of pre-shading on the white bits of the armor just to distinguish it a little bit from the kit that is kind of just a base color, and it's sitting on top of a custom base from I believe the company was considered light. That's one of my master grades. It took me a while to do it. I kind of got sidetracked. I started a while, and then sometimes the builder's dilemma where we just say, I'll set this to the side for a little bit and come back to it, and then 3 months later, oh my gosh.
Hi, this is Ricky, aka Hoskin House on Instagram, here at ODO Richmond, and having another great time this year in 2025. I wanted to talk about my Figurized Standard Amplified Exodia. Incredible kit. I loved it when it came out. It's, obviously gold, as most people know, but it's a intricately molded kit with lots of fine details scribed in, really cool runes on the shoulders, a lot of interesting line work that I wanted to highlight. Most people stick with gold if they painted it all. And I thought it would be interesting to do it in a Pennsylvania bluestone, fieldstone kind of color, like it was stone and had kind of broken its shackles and chains and come to life, but was still kind of made of stone. So I kind of went with that theme. Then I used a .18 airbrush after priming it and started to layer up basically from a dark blue all the way up to a sky blue and gray, and build tones through the use of pre-shading and post-shading. And my goal was to highlight all of those carved runes and different lines.
So that is the day in a nutshell. Hopefully the footage reflects the feeling that I had. It was an amazing show. Tons of incredible builders, tons of great builds. The tables were jam-packed. They probably needed more tables, to be honest, but they fit everything in, and it was good. It was a great show. Great seeing everybody again, and yeah, as always, I come to these events as kind of an opportunity to kind of recharge and get inspired, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting back, just doing anything. It's been a rough last I don't know, 6-8 months between the move and some other stuff, and hoping to have time to build myself, and looking forward to next year as always. Congratulations to the winners, and sorry if any of the interviews that I talked to, a ton of people, if anything doesn't make it into this vlog or didn't make it into this vlog, because there were just so many, and hopefully some of those will show up in other clips later on. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.